Welcome back to another session of Just Me podcasts. And today we are joined by the wonderful Conor Warren. Conor, tell us all about you. Who are you and what do you do? Because I know it's a fantastic story.
Thank you very much, Sid. So, my name is Conor Warren, and I'm an 18-year-old mental health advocate and entrepreneur. At the age of 14, I founded Spark UK, and we're now the UK's leading youth-led mental health organisation, which is an absolute mouthful to say. Basically, we create resources and campaigns for thousands of young people across the UK, and we just aim to spark the conversation around mental health.
How did you get into that? Because it's a big ask, and I know what you're doing. It's brilliant, all the resources and stuff. But why did you get into that? What led you to that?
Yeah, so we always joke it started on a bit of a rant. So it was 2020. We were in lockdowns, and the state of young people was not the greatest
Right.
because obviously they were going through this pandemic. They didn't really know what was going on. Anxiety rates were very high, and a group of friends we met and we said, "What would we like in an ideal world?" Well, we'd like more mental health education. We'd
Brilliant.
like celebrities to be talking about mental health. We'd love podcasts around mental health. And then after about an hour of listing everything we wanted, we said, why don't we try doing this ourselves? And we expected absolutely nothing of it. I was a very ambitious person. I was like, you know what? Let's just try this. Let's see what happens.
Wow.
4 years later.
Wow, that's so cool. Tell people about kind of Spark UK and how does it work?
Yeah, so we are very much a organisation that does many, many different things, and I often struggle to keep track of everything we're doing because it is so vast the amount of stuff we do.
Right.
Primarily, everything we do fits into three categories.
Okay.
So the first categories is our campaigns, which is kind of our biggest category that most people know us for.
Okay.
And each Christmas, we run a campaign called All Star Advent, which was the first thing we ever did as an organisation, and it's still to this day, it's our biggest thing.
Brilliant.
And basically, we thought, let's create a digital advent calendar. So
Brilliant.
each day in December, people can open the virtual doors and see a video. And those videos are tips from celebrities giving a tip on mental health. So over the past 4 years, we've had people like Judy Dench, Emma Thompson. We've had Stephen Fry for 4 years in a row.
Wow.
So we've had all these massive household names sending us videos, giving tips on mental health,
Oh, lovely.
and that's become a massive campaign on its own. Last year, we worked with BAFTA, and yeah, that's sort of a very big effort that we do every year.
Wow. And why Christmas though?
You know, it's quite a well-known thing that Christmas is a very lonely period.
Mm,
So we wanted to create something around mental health that supported people during Christmas.
brilliant.
But equally, it's the novelty factor.
Yeah.
It's the an advent calendar. You open the doors. It's you got the lead up to Christmas. It's also everything is very Christmassy,
No,
and
lovely.
also from a school's perspective, schools always look for things to do during Christmas. So everybody remembers back at school, the last few days before going to school, before breaking up for Christmas, was the bit of fun days where you watched films and you did all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
We try to create stuff that schools can use around mental health for those days.
Brilliant.
So yeah, and then we sort of do a lot of resources.
Okay.
So we create free and accessible resources for schools. So we sit down as a team and again say do we feel like we missed out on our education? What topics weren't taught about in school that we would have liked to be spoken about?
Mm,
And then we sit and create those lessons, and we work with mental health professionals to get them vetted. But every resource is created by a young person, and we now have lessons on topics including anxiety, gratitude, self-care,
wow.
all these different topics to try and teach young people about mental health.
Brilliant.
And the final category is sort of the research aspect. So we also work on with a lot of universities on research projects. So providing youth voice into these projects and showing them sort of what young people are going through,
Brilliant.
and acting as that sort of go between young people and the professionals. So very broad.
Yeah, no, but brilliant. And what have you learnt along the way? Because you've been doing it for 4 years.
Yeah. I've learned so much. When I first started, I had no contacts within the industry.
Wow.
I had no experience. I had nothing. I was just a 14-year-old with an idea.
Wow.
And I've basically learned everything on the job, which is probably, in my opinion, the best way. I made many a mistake, but I've learned from that. And I think the biggest thing I've learned, which is always the one piece of advice I give everybody, is to just send an email. And I know that might sound stupid, but we're in this digital world now, and you can pretty much email anybody. And every single opportunity we've ever had is through me sending them a cold email to someone. So that's how we get the Advent Calendar celebrities. That's how we got a partnership with BAFTA last year. It was me just emailing them, and the worst they're going to say is no, but
Yeah.
you don't know what the best they're going to say is.
That's so cool. And what and who has kind of helped you along the way?
We've had so many incredible people support us through the way. When we first started, we knew that we wanted to do stuff around mental health.
Hmm.
So we initially created it as a bit of a fundraiser. So we were going to create some events to raise money for the mental health charity Young Minds.
Brilliant.
And we put a post up on our local Facebook community groups saying this is who we are and this is what we want to do. And we got invited to the offices of some local children's homes.
Wow.
And on the spot, they offered us £5,000
Wow.
to support basically getting set up.
Oh,
And
lovely.
from there, by those people taking a chance on us, we've been able to grow massively.
Wow.
And we've been able to get contacts within things like Rotary to support us, as well as the bigger mental health charities. So we've had some incredible mentors from different charities. We work with schools, universities, people within the NHS and public health. And we've also got an incredible team of trustees who really help support the steering of the organisation and help sort of mentor me and the rest of the team.
Brilliant. And did you ever think, like 4 years ago, that it could become what it's becoming and become?
Not at all. I think when we started, it was very much a passion project.
Yeah, yeah.
It was just, let's see what happens. We've got this idea. This is what we want to achieve. And we expected nothing of it. We never expected to be where we are today. I
Oh,
mean, I've just got back last week from talking at the European Health Forum in Austria
wow.
with the head of health for
Wow.
YouTube and some professors and European members of parliament. So, very much, we never expected it to come as far and as big as it is now.
Wow, that's so cool. And what sort of obstacles have you encountered along the way, and how have you kind of overcome those?
Yeah, so when we started, one of the main obstacles was age, which unfortunately modern society isn't built, doesn't have the infrastructure to support young people in entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
When we started, we tried to set up as a charity,
Mm.
but that became an impossible task where anybody that set up a charity, it takes like you got to write a 60-page constitution, it's a 4-week application process. And equally, we none of the team were over 16. And to be a trustee, you had to be 16.
Wow.
We actually had no, we would have had no ownership within the organization, which when we first started, we kind of wanted that. So we then set up as a community interest company, which was a lot easier. We became company directors. And unfortunately, still, when we were set up as a community interest company, we'd set up with the company's house, and that was absolutely fine. But then going to set up a bank account, the bank then turned us down because we had people under 18. So we then had to stop being directors and do that all over again.
Wow.
And still to this day, we're now 4 years in, and we're still struggling with all that.
Is that right?
Still doing the paperwork, still sorting it all out. But also, sort of initially, it was being taken seriously
Gotcha.
because of our age, because we didn't necessarily have a track record. People didn't take us seriously. They thought, "Oh, this is never going to work. This is never going to go anywhere." And it was only when we started actually getting celebrities on board and started getting in the media and started getting awards and stuff that people actually took us seriously and we could actually start doing what we wanted to.
That's so brilliant. And what keeps Connor going when times get tough? Because it does, doesn't it? And as you say, COVID was tough. And
Yeah, for me, it's helping others.
oh,
So seeing the impact the organisation is having on people, and seeing the education that we are providing young people, it can be very challenging because, I'm down in North Devon.
Yeah.
It's a very isolated place. I don't necessarily get to go and see the rest of the country. And because all the work we do is online, it can often feel like the work we're doing isn't being seen by anybody.
Yeah.
So because everything goes up on our website and can be downloaded, we don't necessarily get the analytics and the figures to see.
Got you.
But it's when we get, I go to events and people already know who we are, or I get messages saying,
Oh.
something I've never heard of. I think the most surreal experience was, Devon transport is a nightmare.
Yeah.
Had the trains cancelled on me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I got shoved in a taxi with 4 other people, and we were talking for about an hour and a half, and every single one of them had heard of Spark. They were
Wow.
all from places across the country. They
Oh.
were all none of us had anything in common, none of us had ever crossed paths before, but every single one of them had heard of Spark and the work we were doing. So for me, that's what keeps me going, is the fact that although it might not seem like it, we are helping people and our message is getting out there.
How lovely is that? And are there any kind of special stories that you've got from people who've kind of got back in touch and said thank you? And
We've had some incredible, from people I went to school with
oh,
that I get messages out the blue from. We've also, a lot of the time when we do a lot of work with sort of on TV and radio and stuff, I know a lot of time we actually get emails from grandparents
no,
saying by seeing us on TV, they've been able to sort of open up conversations within their own home. And it's sort of, as our saying is, it sparked conversations within their home.
yeah,
And that's really rewarding to feel that actually, we are helping to start those conversations. And, there's no better feeling than that.
that's so lovely. That's brilliant. And what advice would you give to your younger self? So if you could go back to when you were 10 or whatever, what would you say to Connor then?
I think one bit of advice I always have is you don't have to know what you want to do in life.
Oh,
I think that's something that's always pushed on young people. You've
yeah,
always got to have a plan. You've always got to have this long term plan of where you'll be in 20, 30 years' time.
no,
Me, I don't know where I want to be in 5 years' time at the minute. So it's
oh,
getting through baby steps in many ways, going through step by step. I think that's the biggest advice I would have to my younger self and to younger people is you don't have to have your whole life planned out. I never, at the age of 13, I never thought I'd be doing this now. At the age of 14, when I set up this organization, I didn't think I'd be in this position now. You've almost got to just go with the flow, as they say, and just see what happens.
and do you think that that pressure is heaped on young people, too early of, get a career, make sure you get all the qualifications, etc.
Definitely. I think there's always this thing about exams. So when
Yeah.
you're in year 6, everybody says SATs are the end of the world. You get to year 7, the first thing they tell you in year 7 is SATs don't matter anymore.
Whoa.
GCSEs, they tell you everything in year 11, so it's, make or break. First day of year 12, they say, yeah, GCSEs don't mean anything.
Yeah.
And it's one of these things where, unfortunately, pretty much every young person is expected to know their plans for life,
Yeah.
not just to know what careers they want to go into. But you ask any adult, they still don't know what they want to do in their life. They still don't know what they want to do when they grow up. So it's a challenge.
And what advice would you give to others? I mean, you mentioned a number of things there, but what else would you what would you share? I mean, I love your thing about, just write an email because the worst they can say is no, and you never know what they could say.
Absolutely. I think there's so many bits of advice, and it's just if you have an idea,
Mm.
go for it.
Oh,
And you see a lot on social media that people, you have this idea and they drop out of school or they drop out of work and they put everything into it. You don't have to do that. It's about being realistic. You don't have to straight away drop out of school or drop out of work because a lot of people can't do that. You
mm.
can't just drop out of full-time work because you need the money.
I get you.
So if you have an idea, start small, start building the fundamentals of it, the layers of it, and then work up and slowly reduce that rather than just taking the leap instantly. Slowly build that up. I think that's something that's really important, and it allows that sort of long-term stability and longevity of an idea. And actually, it
Right.
means that you are doing it for the right reasons because if you've got an idea, you want to enjoy it, And if you take that leap instantly, you'll constantly be worrying about where you're going to get the money from, where you're going to get this from.
Mm,
If you start small and
mm,
work up over time, it will naturally grow.
brilliant. That's really brilliant. What legacy would you love to leave behind? Or you are leaving behind, I know, but
Good one, yeah. I think for me, it's always about youth voice. It's always about showing what young people are capable of.
yeah.
I've in the past 4 years, I walked into a lot of rooms where are predominantly full of older business people, older people, sort of policymakers, and I've not been afraid to sit and say what I think. I've been sat in council meetings with the top people of Devon County Council.
Wow.
And I've said, no, I don't agree with that, or no, have you thought about this?
Wow.
I think my legacy is I want to show what young people are capable of and what they can do.
Mm,
At the age of 18, I've been able to achieve this. I think I'm one person. Think if every single 18-year-old in the country did something, think how
mm,
much better the world would be. And
definitely.
we need to build an infrastructure to support young people to do that, and a society that nurtures and encourages that. So
Wow.
that's the legacy I want to build, is to allow young people to do that and build up their own organisations and to just make a difference.
Wow, that's very powerful. I love that. So, who have you got? Is there anyone that's kind of a hero or really kind of mentor, somebody you look up to?
Yeah, I've got so many incredible people that I look up to, both on a personal level and a professional level. Um, I've got some incredible mentors that really support me,
No,
from the chief officer of our voluntary services locally to people that sort of much higher up in organisations. For me, I'm very much a business minded person. So, people like Ben Francis, who is the CEO of Gymshark,
yeah,
or Stephen Bartlett, or sort of the Dragons from Dragon's Den. I'm very much a kind of that entrepreneurship leveled person.
brilliant. And do you love? I mean, how do you absorb them? Do you read? Do you listen to podcasts? I mean, what's your kind of what are the tools that you use?
Yeah, it's a real mixture for me. So a lot of the time it's through TikTok.
Okay.
So actually watching TikToks on entrepreneurship and business. But yeah, podcasts, books, TV shows. I do a lot of online courses as well to
Mm,
really teach myself on the job, because I'm
brilliant.
not in any sort of formal education anymore.
Okay.
So I'm constantly trying to learn through online courses and through YouTube videos, and again, just teaching myself.
Brilliant. And how do you see the magic that you bring to the world? What is it that Conor Warren brings to the party and to meetings and things?
I think it's just authenticity for me. I very much try to be as authentic as possible.
Wow.
Try and not be afraid to say what I think. So people know that from me, that when I go into meetings, I am me. I'm not hiding anything.
Yeah.
And I try to also add a bit of comedy and just a bit of
Yeah.
lightheartedness, because actually
No.
meetings can be very long and boring.
Yeah.
So at least adding a bit of lightheartedness, a bit of just fun to it is so much better. When we have team meetings, usually they're sat on my sofa eating pizza. So I very much prefer that sort of laid back, just chill and kind of say what you think and have a constructive conversation, rather than a lot of meetings you'll be in are just you're going round and round in circles for years and not getting anywhere. So
Yeah.
you might as well have a bit of fun with it.
Yeah. How do you, I mean, can I go back to the youth voice? I mean, they're brilliant.
Yeah,
I
of
love
course.
that. With the youth voice, I mean, you're right. We need to get younger people involved at a much earlier stage. I mean, I've got, 4 children, 3 of who are very young, sort of 8, 6, and 4. But they're smart. They know what's what. And it's almost as though there's a huge chasm, isn't there? Kind of to waiting till, they become 18 or 20 or whatever, till they really get that voice. And you kind of think, no, they've got a voice so early on.
Absolutely. If you look at some of the top sort of advocates within the UK and within
Mm,
the world, they're
mm,
all young people.
I know.
You've got the incredible Boy in the Tent, who raised over £1 million for North Devon Hospice
Yeah.
by sleeping in his tent every night for 2 years.
Wow.
He was aged 14.
Wow.
You've got some incredible girls called Kids Against Plastic, who are speaking at the UN, who are changing the way that single use plastic is in the UK. They're both 16.
Wow.
all of these policymakers, all these people that are changing policy, influencing policy, are
Mm,
young.
mm,
And if that's just a select couple people, it's a very few minority that are doing that. But
mm,
if we can make it a majority,
mm.
think how different the world would be, because young people are want to steer the future that they will
Brilliant,
have, the,
brilliant.
the world in which they'll have in 30, 40 years' time.
Mm.
So we need to foster a community, foster a society that nurtures that and allows that to flourish.
And Connor, do you think there's a real move, from young people to because they it's kind of like when you look at the world, it's a pretty sad place in many ways.
Yeah,
But do you think kind of younger people are going like, we've had enough? It's like this isn't what we want.
absolutely. I
Brilliant.
think there's so much, turn on the news and it's all just very upsetting.
Mm,
Go to so many different places and actually, young people are fed up. They're fed up of seeing a society in which they don't want to live in.
brilliant,
So they're now finding ways to create a society in which they do want to live in
brilliant.
through social change, through volunteering, through all these different things.
That's really lovely. Do you think there will be, there will be a world, where the younger voices listen to more? Because I mean, I see your generation as really sort of saying, actually, we've had enough of this. Regardless of what you old people sort of think, it's like this isn't good enough. And it's almost there's almost to an activism kind of level, isn't there, where young people go, no, that we can do better than this.
Absolutely. I think there is so many young people that are realizing that they want to make a difference. There's some incredible examples. You've got Manchester. They've got Young Manchester, which the mayor of Manchester is incredible at fostering that sort of social change within the young people, and
Brilliant,
they're able to get involved and sort of steer policy and steer what's going on in the UK. There's also an incredible organisation called Give an X, which is a group of incredible young people around voting, and they managed
brilliant.
to get, I think it was just over 1 million young people to register to vote in one day alone
Wow,
through a social media campaign, through collaborations,
wow.
and that it shows the power of what young people are capable of and what young people want to do. They want to make a difference. They want to get involved and have a say.
Just brilliant, isn't it? And now with all this the kind of digital channels, it's as you said earlier, it's all achievable, isn't it? It's just there waiting.
Absolutely, it makes it so much easier because actually you can reach an audience much bigger than you ever could have.
Yeah,
We can reach an audience that we never could have imagined reaching through social media. And I think so many people are very quick to blame social media and say it's all negative.
mm,
Equally, there are so many positives. Look at the charts, look at the music charts.
yeah,
Probably 50% of those artists now on the charts all started out on TikTok, all started
yeah.
out posting videos of them singing their songs, and
Mm.
now they are at the top of their game.
Mm, mm. And do you think that sort of anxiety levels and kind of stress levels with young people, because it is high, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah,
it's daunting out there. But do you think is that an outcome of social media, or is that just an outcome of society?
I think it's an outcome of society. I think there's lots of different factors, and it would be impossible to just pin it down on one factor, which lots of people try to do because they don't necessarily understand all the other factors.
Yeah.
But I mean, one example, COVID lockdowns,
Mm,
we were put into the house for 2 years basically and
mm,
told to go nowhere near anybody.
mm,
And now we're in a society, now we're back to normal. For
mm,
these young people that grew up only knowing not don't go anywhere near
mm,
anybody because you might catch a disease off them.
mm.
Now going near people, their brain has been wired to think, well, I can't go that close to them, so I might catch a disease from them.
Wow.
And yes, social media is a massive factor as well, and I'm not going to deny that because
Mm,
it
mm.
is. But it's about again fostering that and ensuring that it's not the only, making sure you understand it's not the only factor. There are so many other things that are going on.
That's brilliant. And what gives you your sort of fizzy pop moment of, when you feel that wonderful feeling of, you've done something amazing and you got fizzy pop in your tummy? What gives you that feeling?
For me, it's again getting those messages of support,
Oh,
getting those stories of people that have been helped by
mm,
hearing us on TV or
brilliant,
reading our story or being encouraged to young people being encouraged to set up their own organizations
brilliant.
because of what they've seen us do. I
Mm,
that's what gives me that fizzy pop feeling, as you say,
that's lovely.
is the knowing that I've helped somebody, even if it's that one person. If I
Mm.
only help one person in my whole life, that's still one person that I've helped.
That's so lovely. And if you could use one word to describe yourself, Connor, what would that be?
I think everybody that knows me, including myself, would be ambitious.
Ambitious, brilliant.
I am a very ambitious person.
And with that wonderful word in mind, what does the future look like for you in terms of the next, I don't know, 4 months, 6 months, 12 months, or whatever?
Yeah, so it's very much again that ambition. It is trying to grow the organization more. We're now getting into some incredible collaborations and partnerships in which we are running projects for young people. And sort of personally as well, it's about growing my message, growing the
Brilliant.
platform, and being able to go around the world and share my journey and share my story and being able to support as many young people as possible to set up their own organizations.
That's so lovely. That's brilliant. And where would you love to go to take your message to? I mean, anywhere around the world?
I'd love to go to New York City.
Oh,
I think that's just, you'd love, anywhere in America really. And yeah, maybe a hot country as well. Maybe somewhere like Bali or somewhere.
God, how lovely. And I'm sure you'll get there. I really do, Connor. It's wonderful. Is there anything else you'd like to leave our listeners with?
I think just back to that message of kind of if you've got an idea, go for it. Go try and see what happens.
That's so lovely. Oh, Conor Warren, it's so nice to honestly. I'm just sitting here smiling. It's just so lovely, and I can hear the smile in your voice and your excitement as well. It's just so lovely to meet you, and thank you so much. Keep doing what you're doing because we certainly need it.
Likewise, thank you very much for having me.
Thanks, Connor.